Welcome to YouTube video and WordPress, how to double down on your SEO potential. Steve Schwartz has been creating digital assets for small businesses and teaching classes on social media, photography, video, WordPress, and online security for about 10 years. His teaching style has always been to try to take complex technical jargon and bring it down to a level where end users can understand it. Thanks for joining us, Steve.
Hey everybody, my name is Steve Schwartz and I'm coming to you today from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I am excited about the opportunity to get to talk to you today about incorporating YouTube video with WordPress and doubling down on your SEO potential. SEO, of course, standing for search engine optimization. In other words, Google's ability to find your content when somebody searches for a particular key term or key phrase. Anyhow, so my name's Steve Schwartz. There's my phone number right there. I'm going to be talking a lot today about my hobby blog, which is my car blog, which is funcarstuff.com. And you can catch me on YouTube. My YouTube handle is Tahoe Steve. So please be sure to check it out. All right, so real quick, a little bit about me. I currently live in Charlotte. I've been here since 2004. And prior to that, I lived in Fairfax, Virginia, where I was raised. Been married since 1996. I got two great kids. One is 14, one's 18. The 18-year-old is going to be a sophomore in college this year, and the 14-year-old is going to be starting high school. And there they are, my pride and joy. The three people that mean the world to me and why I work so hard. So after a decade in corporate America, I decided to venture out on my own, and I started a small photography and videography business in Charlotte in 2008 and got pulled into developing websites in 2010. So I've been in the WordPress ecosystem since 2010. I think my first version was 2.0, something like that. But I've built a lot of sites for a lot of people. I am an admitted computer geek, and I am an admitted photography and video geek. I'm also a drone geek. I've got a YouTube channel. I'm sitting right around 28,000 subscribers, and I should hit 7 million views sometime in the very near future. So I am a wannabe musician, and that's a long story, but I'll leave it at that. And as far as leading sessions and teaching, I've been doing this for probably 2 decades. I love helping people, so don't be shy. If you've got a question in your head and you think that it's a stupid question, chances are 25% of the people in the audience have the exact same question, so don't be shy and ask. I will, however, be saving all of the Q&A to the end. I've got about 60 minutes worth of content that I want to get through for you in 40 minutes, leaving us time for Q&A. There's a good chance that I might answer your question somewhere along the way. But otherwise, if I get off on a tangent, I'll have a hard time finding my way back, and we might miss some of the good stuff. So I showed you my blood family earlier. This is my extended family. I love WordCamps. This is my first virtual WordCamp. However, I've been to 14 regular WordCamps in the last 2.5 or so years. I want to encourage each and every single one of you to get as much WordCamp as you possibly can. I know that the folks here have worked very, very hard to put on this event for you. I can't imagine the pivot that they had to do, planning for an in-person event and then having to pivot to a all virtual event. So hats off to them for all the hard work in making this a great event. But I also want to encourage you in the future, go to one of these WordCamps in person. The education that you get in the sessions is amazing, but it's the connections that you make with the people that is everlasting. The people that you see in all of these images, I look forward to seeing all year long, and there is a good, solid percentage of the individuals in these pictures that, because of WordCamps I have worked with, I've sent business to, they've sent business to me, and we've got just an everlasting both work and personal relationship. So WordCamp is more than just learning. It's amazing on so many levels. I can't really put it in words. All right, so let's talk about what you're going to learn today. You're going to learn about video and search, and I'm going to go into the why. And you're going to learn video and search, and I'm going to talk about the how. If you notice, I don't have the what up here. And the reason why I don't have the what up there is because you already know what the what is. So many people in presentations talk about the what, and you take notes and you have good intentions and you go back and you get busy and nothing ever happens. Well, if I tell you why this is so important, I'm hoping that I will motivate you to actually take action, to actually go back to your office or whatever and actually do something with it. The why to me is a much, much stronger message than the what. And then, of course, the how is laying the groundwork to get you started. We're going to have to do this in rhetorical questions because normally this is the point in the presentation where, by show of hands, I ask the audience these following questions. But let's just do it rhetorically. How many of you know that video is a good idea and you get around to it? You get around to it when you can. I'm sure there's probably a few of you out there that have that thought. How about this one? Oh, video's too hard. I can't do that. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you can press a little button on your cell phone, video's not that hard. How about video's too expensive? Well, I'm not going to buy that one either because probably 99% of the people in the audience right now have smartphones. So we'll come back to that. The old, I don't want to be on camera. Well, nobody wants to be on camera for the first time. And I'm here to tell you to get over yourself and just do it. Just dive in and go for it. And that goes the same for your voice. Nobody likes the sound of their voice recorded, but it is what it is. You got to get over that and you've got to just dive in. There's no getting around it except for practice. So here's what I deem to be the most legitimate out of all of the excuses. The one that says, I just can't think of anything people would want to watch. Well, my answer to that is you're at a WordCamp on a Saturday. That tells me immediately two things about you. You're motivated and you're intelligent. You're most likely employed as well. So somebody is paying you to come to work every day and solve problems. Well, if you're a problem solver, you have a story to tell. And that is the exact type of content that makes for good videos. In your head, whatever discipline that you have, you're better at it than most people. That's why you're there. Well, share the wealth. For me, I'm pretty good at photography, I'm pretty good at videography, and I'm pretty good at building websites. So I share the information. Up there in your head, you have knowledge that other people are clamoring to know. Share the knowledge. All right? So let's stop with the excuses and get on with the productivity. Earlier, I told you we were going to talk about the why, and now we're there. So these are YouTube statistics. So we're not talking about any other platform. We're not talking about Vimeo or any of the other ones, but YouTube and YouTube only has 5 billion videos viewed per day. Okay. Every minute, 500 hours of video is uploaded. For several years now, YouTube has been the number 2 search engine behind Google. And for those of you that don't know, YouTube is actually owned by Google. So what we're talking about here is trying to rank well for the number 1 search engine via your blog and the number 2 search engine via video, which is YouTube. 30 million daily active users. 1 billion hours watched every day. With billion, with a B. Billion. All right. I call it the YouTube suck zone. The average user spends 40 minutes on YouTube. You know how it goes. You get a text from a friend with a link. You click on the link. You watch one video. And before you know it, you've watched 13 recommended videos and you've gone down that rabbit hole. So what I want you to keep in mind is that when you do it right, it really doubles your exposure and your search engine optimization. All right. So now let's talk about why I think that you can still kill it with video. Well, if you look back at the second bullet from the last slide, that might be a little bit disheartening that every minute 500 hours of video are uploaded. How in the world can you get through all of that white noise and make an impact? Well, let's talk about it. I'm going to use the real estate industry as an example here because I think it's an industry that all of us at one point or another have had some exposure to. But let's move on. So we're going to take 100 realtors, and this is a poll that I've actually done myself, and I have, over the course of the last decade, have done this poll 3 times. And the last time that I did the poll was last year, and of the 100 realtors that I polled, 70% of them have websites. And of that 70%, half of those websites are the old-fashioned billboard stagnant, websites that somebody bought for them or they bought for themselves and they've never touched. They don't add content to it. They don't even probably know what's on the site. So of the remaining half, about 1/3 of those guys add fresh content. So 1/3 of 35%, we're down about 11.5. And that's a pretty generous number because I don't even think it's that high. So how many of these professionals are doing video on top of the blogging? So we're around 2. And I think that the real estate industry is a good representation of small businesses as a whole. Everybody wants to do it. Everybody knows how important it is, but nobody can actually find the time to do it. So if you do it, you're still going to be a standout. All right, so let's talk about doubling our search success. So all this weekend, you're learning about how to rank well and how to do everything WordPress. So I won't get into any of that. But we are going to talk extensively about how to rank with your videos on YouTube. And there are other video platforms. Personally, I put all my eggs in the YouTube basket, but let's not forget that there are others. So can it be that easy? Well, it was for me and still is. Let's take a deeper dive. Rule number 1 in having a successful YouTube channel, everyone will tell you, is to pick a niche or a niche, however you want to say it, and stick to it. Well, I make videos about all sorts of different things, but the one common thread with all of my videos is all of my videos are how-to videos, and they're all directed squarely at beginners. In a lot of my videos, I'm actually doing things that I've never done before, and I'm forced to figure everything out on my own. So I'm not afraid to do the research. I'm not afraid to do the deep dive. And I'll watch 20, 30 videos and read another 30 articles and figure everything out. But where I'm different than everybody else is in a couple of places. I like to take all of that information that I've learned, and I'm doing it for the very first time, so it's very fresh in my mind. And I like to take all of that information that I've consolidated from all of those different good sources and pack them into one video so that people don't have to watch the 30 videos that I watched or read the 30 articles that I watched. I do the legwork for them, and then I make a nice, hopefully clearly succinct, articulate video that will allow them to do whatever it is that they're trying to do in the first place. There are 2 more factors at play here, and that is good lighting and good sound. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. But the bottom line here is that there are so many people who are so good at what they do that, number 1, they forget what it's like to be new and they can't articulate what they're trying to say to a new person. Or number 2, they're awesome at explaining what they're trying to explain, but you can't hear them because their audio is terrible. Or number 3, you can't see what they're doing. All of the above reasons are why I make videos. All right, so let's take a personal look at some of my own experience. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a Google search for install long tube headers Chevy. There's a search right there. And essentially, long tube headers are a performance enhancement that adds horsepower to a car or truck. I won't bore you with any more of the details. Now, here's the key, though. Installation of these things is extremely difficult, and it's monumentally frustrating. Okay. And at the time that I made my video series, which was right around January of 2017, there were not very good videos on YouTube that showed the installation of them properly. So here's where I identified the need. So I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to do this search for installing long tube headers Chevy. And there's looks like 3.8 million results. And this first video right here is by Tahoe Steve, the very, very first thing that you see. If we come down a little bit, you've got some videos from other people, but you've actually got another video by me. And if we come down a little bit more, we've got some more videos by some more people, and the first natural organic search result is my website. So that's 3 entries on page 1 of a Google search for installing long tube headers Chevy. But let's see what happens if, what if we type in GM truck? There's one of my videos there. There's another one of my videos there. And I'm still the first natural organic for my blog. So everything in my presentation boils down to this. Why settle for just having your blog article appearing on page 1 as number 1 if you can get it there, when way up higher with 6 million results, I've got 2 videos as well. Utilizing good keywords in your YouTube video. Let's go down to the second one. Let's go down to Silverado, which is a different type of truck. All right. Because my engine in my Tahoe is the same as the engine in Silverado, I'm still doing well with the Silverado search there. There's my other video, and there's my website. Okay. So that is the exclamation on this presentation, which is, why settle on being on page 1 once when you can be on page 1 several times? And it gets better than that. So let's go back here. This time I'm going to do a search for rebuild 5.3 Chevy, and let's see what happens. So the 5.3 Chevy is the engine that is in just about every Chevrolet truck on the roads today, with the exception of the big trucks, which have the bigger engines in them. These engines are in millions and millions of vehicles. So when it comes time to do a rebuild, people are going to be looking for the videos. And when you do rebuild 5.3 Chevy, we've got 1.1 million. There's my video right there. Now, what if we come down here and look? Here's the natural organic search. Oh no, look, my website's not here. What a shame. Remember when I told you we were going to triple down? Well, we've tripled down in this case, because in every single one of my blog articles, I do everything that I possibly can to get my images to rank well as well. So this picture right here is my video. I also recognize this picture right here as my video. 2 of the first 4 that appear are my videos. And let's see what happens if we actually click on this. If we click on this, oh man, boom. Front and center, my YouTube video. It says right here, Tahoe Steve. So if they click on this or they click on this, they're actually going to get taken straight to YouTube, and they're going to get to watch my video. There it is. But what if I told you it gets even better than that? Take a look over here. This right here, we're already clicked on it. That's why it's highlighted. But I'm also going to get the opportunity for them to find this picture right here. And if they click on it, that's yet another Tahoe Steve video that they can click on and watch the video. And none of those are mine. But this one is. So here's what went through my mind here. I identified a need. I made the video. And I aimed to do it better than anyone else. And when I say better, I don't mean more knowledgeable. What I mean is done well. Well lit, articulated well, so that people who have never done it before can actually understand what you're talking about in the video, and done in such a way that people can actually understand the audio. All right, so let's talk about optimizing those images. Lucky for us, we all use WordPress, and WordPress makes it extremely easy to do so. All you have to do is just get into the image details when you go to edit an image, and make sure that you're filling in the fields for alternative text, and click down on the advanced options and make sure that you're also entering data for the image title attribute. Captions, I'm not an SEO expert, so I don't know whether captions help or not, but I always fill it in. I always use a caption. Okay. These 3 fields that I enter for every single image on my blog is how I'm ranking well for the images. All right, so how to be successful on YouTube? Number 1, pick a niche. And I say do as I say, not as I do, because I'm all over the place with my content. Number 2 is be consistent. You want to kick out a video every week. And this is something that I used to never do. But this year I've been working very, very hard to get out on average 1 a week. I'm still not doing it the way you're supposed to do it, which is pick a time and a day of the week and make sure you're getting a video out. I don't know, call it Wednesday at 4 o'clock, Sunday night at 9, whatever. The more predictable you are for your audience, the more people will be there every time you release a new video. Number 3, be interesting, funny, or at the very, very least, informative. Now, I don't know how interesting I am, maybe marginally interesting. I'm certainly not funny, but what I strive to do very, very hard is be informative. I wish I was funny. I've tried to be funny. I have fallen completely on my face trying to be funny. It's just, you either got it or you don't have it, and I don't have it. So I'm just going to stick with being informative. And here's the most important one. Don't ever give up, because I'm going to tell you that first year is a slow slog. If you've got experience blogging and you've built a following blogging, then you know what I'm talking about. This is not overnight success. Be consistent, kick out stuff on a regular basis. Expect for the first full year that nobody will watch your videos, but then who knows? All it takes is just one person out there to come across one of your videos who has an authoritative voice to share your video on Reddit or something like that. And before you know it, 0 views can turn into tens of thousands of views very, very quickly. And the more videos you kick out, the more opportunities you have to come across that person that might share your content and really put you on the map. If that doesn't happen, then success on YouTube is like a snowball. It starts off very, 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 very small, very, very hard at first, and it's just really, really hard to get going. But once it starts to get going, it really starts to get going. All right, so let's talk about the secrets to actually showing up in the search engine results. Number 1, your video title, your description, your keywords. Don't forget to categorize it. And here's one that most people don't know, the video upload name. And what I'm talking about is don't upload your video with the name that your camera gave the video. Use something that makes sense. Something like making good video for YouTube with underscores. Okay, that is a good name for a file that you upload. And the reason why this is important is because there are people who will upload video to YouTube and not give it a description or a title. And there was a time when if YouTube had no idea what the video was about, it would actually use the video name to try to figure out how to categorize the video. I think today it's probably less important because the technology involved in YouTube being able to deduce what a video is about is so much better than it was a couple of years ago. I still stick to what has always worked for me, which is giving that upload file a name that is a good representation of what the video is about. Let's look at these things individually. First of all, I do how-to videos, and the way I arrive at my titles is I try to close my eyes and think, what would somebody type in to actually come across what my video content is about? Well, I'm thinking that people are going to type in a question. How to install long tube headers. Well, so I've given the name of the video, installing long tube headers and white pipe on a Chevy Tahoe GM truck. And this is part 2 of the video. I will admit that the Chevy Tahoe GM truck part is a little keyword spammy, but it's not over the top. It's probably right in the sweet spot. Okay, Chevy Tahoe, it makes perfectly good sense. Adding GM truck may be pushing the issue, but some of my competition will do installing long tube headers on a Chevy Tahoe GM truck, Suburban, Silverado, Colorado, and just list 80 different car names. That's keyword spamming. Although this may be pushing the envelope a little bit, it has in no way gotten me in trouble with YouTube ever. So next is the description, and you're going to want to be equally savvy in making sure that your description is telling a story. Well, let's take a closer look at the description. But there are other things here in this description that you absolutely need to be aware of. Number 1 is the affiliate link. An affiliate link is if somebody clicks this specific link, they're going to go to Amazon.com and they're going to arrive on a page for the speed engineering long tube headers. So if somebody follows this affiliate link to Amazon and they purchase the speed engineering headers, I'm going to get paid a small percentage on that buy. As a matter of fact, Amazon's going to pay me on anything and everything that they buy on their first visit for 24 hours. So next is link back. Other people in other sessions are going to talk to you about the importance of a good linking strategy, getting link backs from authoritative websites. Well, in my opinion, YouTube's a pretty authoritative website. So I put a link back to my website from YouTube in my description. Now, if you make 5,000 videos, you're not going to get 5,000 link backs from YouTube. At some point, YouTube's going to give you credit for one, and I think that's pretty much all you get. All right, category and keywords. Make sure this video is a car video, so I want to make sure that I categorize it. And you can't see the keywords here, but make sure that you utilize the keyword field on YouTube. Now, here's another example of a different video that I've done. See the affiliate links? Do not be afraid to have 30 affiliate links. If you discuss 30 products in a video, like I did in this particular video, which is how to install a robust transmission in a GM truck, everything that I talked about in the video, I have a link to. And I'm going to tell you something right now. People are lazy. They don't want to do the research themselves. So if you give them an itemized list, boom, 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 of everything that they need to do something, they will follow your itemized list and they will buy every single thing off of that list. And you will get a commission on every single one of those items. So it's certainly worth becoming an Amazon affiliate, getting your own Amazon links and using them in your YouTube videos. Not to mention, these same links are at the bottom of all of my blog article entries on the related topic. Now, what you're seeing here at the top, other videos in the series, is this video is part whatever of a 4-part video series. Well, make it easy for your audience to find your other videos when you do a series. There's nothing more frustrating than getting to video 2 and it ending and you have no idea how to get to video 3. Or if you're watching video 4 and you want to go back to 3, you can't figure out how. So your goal as a content creator is to make it as easy as humanly possible for people to navigate through your content. Hand it to them on a silver platter. They'll appreciate it and you'll get more views and you'll sell more stuff. All right, so let's talk about the marriage of the blog and the YouTube video. Here we're looking at my blog. It's just one specific blog article for this running theme of the long tube headers. And I write an article. I actually don't, I might watch the video and then just try to basically summarize what's in the video, or, whet their appetite so that they'll watch the video. But in addition to the video being on YouTube, I'm going to embed the video right here in the blog article. Now we're doubling down on my ability for the video to be found here as well as on YouTube. So let's take a look at how we do that. And I'm going to tell you, this is one thing that Gutenberg makes very, very easy. So how do we embed the video? The first thing you're going to do is you want to create a new block and go to embeds. And once you get to embeds, you'll see this one right here for YouTube. And once you click on that, it's going to ask you for the YouTube URL that you want to embed. Now, we're assuming, of course, that the video has already been uploaded to YouTube. So what you'll do is you go to YouTube, and then you're just going to click on this little share button right here, and this window is going to pop up. All you do is copy the URL, jump back to your WordPress blog, pop the URL in, hit save, and now you have embedded a video in your blog article. And that is the marriage made in heaven. Now, let's make it fun. What if I write my article, create and upload the video, embed the video in the article? We've already talked about how we're going to increase our exposure by at least double. So this bullet is what we've already been talking about. And one thing that we didn't talk about is the fact that after you reach 1,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, you can actually monetize your videos so that, those little 5-second ads that you have to watch at the beginning of a video, well, that content creator is getting paid on those ads. The little bumpers that appear when you're watching a video, they're getting paid on those. The little ads that appear to the right of videos, they're getting paid on those as well. Okay? So let's talk about getting paid. This is a month's worth of earnings on YouTube merely because of the ads that are running at the beginning of the videos. So if we take this number and we add it to the monthly income that we're getting on Amazon for affiliate links, we're actually making some pretty good hobby money. Woohoo! All right, so I've alluded to this a lot, but let's go quickly and talk about how to shoot good video. Ideally, you'll have a camera or a camcorder with an external mic jack so that you can get good audio. But if you insist on using your cell phone that's okay. I've got an option for you. You know, if you want to take this seriously and take it to the next level, get yourself a lav mic, which is a lavalier mic. That's the kind that hooks on your lapel, or a boom mic. That's the long, skinny ones that you see news people and they use on movie sets. Get a tripod. Nobody wants to watch your shaky video. Please do us all a favor and get a tripod. They're only $40-$50 for cheapos, and then they go up from there. But please, spare us the shaky viewage. Okay, lighting. Lighting has gotten so cheap in this LED world that we live in that there's no excuse not to have good lighting. My first light kit was, I don't know, something like $3,000-$4,000. Now you can get a good light kit for under $100. Very important one. Don't use licensed music. Licensed music is any song that you know that you hear on the radio, or any artist that you can name. They have licensing on their music. You cannot use that licensed music in your videos. Well, you can, but there's a chance that your video may get removed. But if you're hoping to monetize your video and you use copyrighted music, you'll never ever monetize your videos using licensed music. So do a Google search for something called royalty-free music. Don't let the word free fool you. It's not free. You still have to pay for it. But once you pay for it, you're free to use it as often as you'd like in your videos. All right, so looking at lights, here's an example right here. This is a Photo Studio Photography 3 softbox light stand, continuous lighting, 2400 watts for $60. That's just one example. This is probably the bottom of the barrel, cheapest of the cheap, but my God, $60. How can you go wrong? And of course, you step up to this 141, which is still pretty cheap. It comes with the stand and the green screen, so these lights are probably still pretty cheap. And then you step up again to 272 for the 3 soft boxes. This is just a Google search for studio lighting. You do the search now, you're going to come up with something completely different and a lot more than just 3 options. So lights, definitely. Make sure that people can see what you're filming. Secret to great video is good audio and good lighting. It's as simple as that. Make sure that when you're creating content, people can see what you're doing and hear what you're saying. That's it. There's nothing more to it than that. All right, and earlier we talked about using a good mic. If you want to use your cell phone, and you still want good audio, then get one of these Tascams. These things are $90, and you can get a Tascam. You can actually get a wired lavalier, a lapel mic that goes on your lapel, and just kind of put this Tascam in your back pocket or what have you. You can go wireless. You can do anything, but just make sure that you're using good audio. These are lav mics or lavalier mics. These are the wireless kind. These are expensive. These start for a good pair at about $250 and go up from there. But this will allow you to wirelessly put lapel mics on people so that they're not tethered. And then this is an example of a boom mic. This is the Rode. The Rode is bare bones entry level that's worth purchasing. These things are, that whole kit that you're looking at right there, I think is $129, something like that. I forget. But I've got it, and it's an amazing set, and I've had it for years, and it works great. So how to light your subject. All right. So you're going to have your subject right here. Subject's right there. Hit them from both angles at a 45-degree angle, of course, with your camera being straight on right here. And when it comes to lighting, you're going to have a key light and you're going to have a fill light. Your fill light's going to have half the power of your key light. And that's so that you're not just inundating the subject with light equally from both sides. With the fill light at half power, you're giving your subject some texture. It makes it a little bit more interesting. There's some shadows, and it's a lot more flattering than just completely blowing them up with light. If you want to get really fancy, then take your 2 lights set up and add a backlight. That's the light that's kind of behind them that makes kind of their hair. It's like a hair light. It makes their hair light up just a little bit to give them separation from whatever their background is. It gives it depth, it gives it texture, and it makes for better lighting. All right, video, how, all the stuff we just talked about. Okay, so this is an important one. Tell a story. In other words, have a point. Have a beginning, a middle, and an end. You're going to want to have an introduction. You're going to want to have a middle where your meat is, and then you're going to have an end where you're going to want to have a call to action. You want to have a point to your videos. You want your viewer to do something. albeit buy something, albeit call you. For me and my videos, it's subscribe, buy something, whatever. Okay. Have a call to action and have a point. Very important. All right. So video for business, keep it light, keep it fun, and keep it fast paced. Nobody in the world wants to sit and watch you talk about how awesome your business is for 45 minutes. As a matter of fact, they won't sit and watch you talk about how awesome your business is for 45 seconds. That's not what it's about. It's not what's in it for you. It's what is in it for them. How is your video going to help them solve their problems, make their life better? That is what you put in the content of your video. And keep it fast paced, because remember, we all have pretty short attention spans. And the last one here is something that I preach all the time, is that it does not have to be shot professionally. It just has to be shot well. What software? All right, so this is this is some Computer Magazine's idea on what the best software is for 2020. Premiere Pro being at the top of the list. That's the one that I use. I'm in it all the time. I don't think that your average person needs to dive into something as expensive as Premiere Pro. There is a watered down version of Premiere Pro called Adobe Premiere Elements. That would be the one that I would recommend. And I can't recommend any of the others because I've been in Adobe for 20 years or however long it's been, and I never used any of these other ones. So might be incumbent upon you to do a little bit of due diligence to figure out what makes sense based on what your specific needs are, and pick one. Most of these you can try for free and buy later. But based on my experience with Premiere Pro, I'm going to recommend either Premiere Pro or Premiere Elements. All right, we're at that time. I am done with the scheduled portion of the show. I'm going to go ahead and put my contact information up here and encourage you to contact me, ask questions. I'm here for you. I'm Steve Schwartz out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Thanks so much.
Thank you for joining us, Steve. We had a couple questions come through.
Okay.
Someone was interested. Her phone is giving her problems with doing video. It's not saving it, giving her enough room or anything. So she's wondering what options she might have there.
What type of phone is it? Do we know what type of phone it is? I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, essentially what I do with my phone is I back up continuously. So if I go and I do a video series or something like that, I'm, whether you back up to the cloud, I'm a big fan of just backing up to a hard drive. What I'll do is, video content will eat up, space on a phone very, very quickly. So it's important to be able to learn how to do what you need to do to get that information, those files off of your phone and either A, onto a hard drive, or B, up into the cloud to make more room. The other thing that eats up space on a phone is apps. So my guess is in today's day and age, with how much space we have on our phones, she's either got a lot of apps, or maybe it's time to just go ahead and back up and offload some of the video content and the photos that she might have on her phone.
Okay, thanks, Steve. And there was another question. Do you have any ideas for creative topics for real estate agents to do videos on?
Real estate agents are the luckiest people in the world. I actually was one for 6 years, so I can speak pretty intelligently about that. Obviously, if you're a listing agent, you should be doing walkthroughs of your listings. We've gotten to a point today where the stabilizing, the little Osmos and stuff, it has become so easy in the last few years to make a good, nice, your ability to flow through a house and be able to film your listings. That's always a great thing to do. If you're a buyer's agent, one of the things, some of the realtors that I'm still really close with in the Charlotte area, especially in the high dollar area, what they do is if they've got a buyer from out of town, a lot of people move to Charlotte from New York and Florida and California, and they're looking at homes in the 800,000 and up range. This particular realtor will actually send them a list of listings, and then go to each of the houses that, like, maybe their top 3, and actually do a walkthrough for them and send it to them. And he has sold house after house after house, because if somebody's looking from another city and they're on the fence about a house because of the pictures that they saw, if they see a walkthrough or get more information, from a video standpoint, it makes them much more inclined to, not today, of course, but get on a plane and go see that house. This guy has sold a lot of houses by doing virtual walkthroughs for people in video. When I was a realtor, I would attend all of the local community events. I would eat at all the new restaurants. And basically what I would do is I'd eat at a restaurant and I would ask for the manager to come by, and I'd tell the manager I'm a realtor and I want to do a quick little 1 minute video on this new business, interview the manager, maybe take a few pictures or whatever of the food, and then boom, put it up on the YouTube channel. And basically you're promoting for that other individual. And I'm going to tell you something, that's going to pay you back in spades, because you go out of your way for other people. And, obviously we do it out of the kindness of our own hearts. But what I found over the years is that you do that enough times and you're top of mind when it's time for that person to be in a conversation with somebody where they want to buy and sell a house. They're always going to refer you because they're appreciative of when you help them with their business. If that makes any sense. Oh, we've lost Lisa. Okay. Let me see if I can get any of the questions. Okay, animated video instead of live people is one of the questions that I'm saying. I tried it and I failed miserably, only because it's so hard to do any kind of animation. I mean, if that's your passion, then by all means give it a shot. But as far as creating content minute by minute, doing animated is, I mean, from where I'm sitting, it's so hard, it wasn't worth my time. If you know an animator, or if you want to partner with somebody or use some of that cute software that they have to make animations, it's good. But there's nothing as good for your brand as you. So you appearing in the video from if you're trying to promote a business or whatever, I think you are your own best brand. And it's actually, to be honest with you, it's flat out easier to just do it live. And like I said in the presentation, if you don't like being on camera, it's something that you got to get past, especially if you are your brand, as in the case of most realtors and small business owners, they are their brand. So what else we got? Yeah. Okay. The question is, how would I suggest we repurpose the blog in the video? Now, I'm going to say right now, I'm ashamed to say it, but sometimes I just get a virtual assistant to transcribe the videos. I have some videos that are 22 to 40 minutes long. Some of those things I transcribe, and I've talked to some of my SEO friends, and they have told me that that's not necessarily a bad idea. So I have done transcriptions for some, but what I do is I'll watch one of my 40-minute videos, and then I'll just basically take 5 or 6 bullet points, and then I'll just put out a paragraph in terms of the blog. I want to set them up to watch the video. That's kind of what my whole goal is. From a search standpoint, from a flat out SEO standpoint, I'm not an SEO expert, so I can't speak definitively on it, but I have heard that blog articles of 500 words or more are good. That's why I just kind of plagiarize and do the transcriptions when I'm being lazy. But if you can write something that's unique, that's 500 words, I say go for it. If you just don't have the time for that and you want to cheat, transcribe it. I think that was the last of the questions. All right, I'm getting the bye-bye message. So y'all, thanks so much for giving me the opportunity to speak. Hope y'all learned something. And I'm Steve from Charlotte. I'm out.